It's 4:30 on WKYT this morning. Days after the murder of a UK student stunned the community, Lexington police launch a new plan designed to make neighborhoods around campus safer.
A rescue group is pursuing charges after a dog died after being dragged down a road. This morning, the dog's owners come forward.
And friends and supporters gathered to send off the Kentucky plaintiffs in a gay marriage case going before the U.S. Supreme Court next week.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you and welcome. Nice to have you along here on this Wednesday morning. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Let's start things out with weather and Micah Harris at the Weather Center.
Yeah, we're looking outside, seeing some showers across the way, especially for the far south and southeastern zones. It's not much, but the actual front is still to the north of us, and you can see that trying to move southbound as we work our way through time. Temperatures are in the upper 40s, lower 50s, kind of depends on where you are. 52 degrees there in Richmond and 49 now in Lexington. It's a bit of a chilly start. I mean, it really is. That rain chance is out there today. It's not great, but it's there. And we'll look for temperatures right around 58. So a cool day in store. Grab that coat before you take off. And I'll show you when you really need a coat coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, we'll see you in a few. We thank you. And in the news this morning, it shocked the community. A UK student killed in what police are calling a random robbery. Police say he was walking home when he was robbed on East Maxwell Street near campus last Friday.
And police have arrested 3 people for the murder. They also want to make sure, though, people in neighborhoods near campus feel safe now. So police are stepping up patrols. WKYT's Monique Blair has the story.
22-year-old Jonathan Kruger was shot and killed near this intersection Friday morning, and now Lexington police are stepping up their foot patrols in an effort to prevent another murder from happening again.
I've made that walk before, you know, it could have been me.
Jonathan Kruger's murder hit close to home for many people who walk up and down the same area where he was killed.
I definitely think that it is necessary to step up patrols for the time being, just to kind of show the public that police are out there trying to make a difference and not letting something like this happen again.
Lexington police plan to increase foot patrols around campus during the times when students are on the streets.
I never walk by myself, and I have, you know, the knife and the taser and the pepper spray.
UK student Josh Crabtree has lived in this area for 3 years, and he says this is the first time something so tragic as Kruger's murder has happened.
I don't think that it's anything that people should really take up arms about, honestly, because I kind of think that it's an isolated incident.
Isolated or not, many students told me they believe the more visible police officers are, the less crime will happen.
It does get scary out here. Since Jonathan Kruger was murdered Friday morning, Councilmember Jake Gibbs has reported several people who live in the area have called him concerned about the shooting. In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Well, police say the stepped-up patrols will be most visible from Thursday nights into Sundays.
5 of the 9 people indicted for a crime ring involving stolen bourbon have turned themselves in. The Franklin County Sheriff says Gilbert Kurtzinger, Julie Kurtzinger, Mark Searcy, Christian Preston and Joshua Preston were booked into the Franklin County Detention Center last night. All 9 suspects have been charged with engaging in organized crime. The sheriff says the investigators have recovered more than $100,000 worth of bourbon stolen from Buffalo Trace and Wild Turkey distilleries. Investigators say Gilbert Kurtzinger was the ringleader. He worked at Buffalo Trace. The sheriff says a tip led investigators to Kurtzinger's home, where investigators found some of the bourbon. And they think many of the suspects met through a sports league.
Put Gilbert Kurtzinger here, there's tentacles that go out to these different folks, and that's how they interconnected throughout the state, was friends through softball.
The Franklin County Sheriff asked the Kentucky Attorney General's Cyber Crimes Unit to analyze phones and computers that investigators found at Kurtzinger's home, and that helped investigators identify some of the other suspects in the case.
And what we were able to find is messages on the cell phones and also on the computer that started tying this case together and started indicating that these suspects were communicating with other suspects, and they were mentioning the bourbon.
Investigators say most of the stolen bourbon that has been recovered will still have to be destroyed. That's because its safety cannot be guaranteed.
Well, this morning we're tracking a disturbing case out of Laurel County where investigators say a dog was dragged down the road and left for dead. The Homeward Bound Rescue Organization said the dog was found in a ditch and later had to be euthanized because its injuries were so bad. The rescue group told us the dog's owner contacted them and said it was all an accident. The owner claimed his son tied the dog to his truck after it went loose. But the owner says he didn't realize the dog was there and drove off with that dog still tied there. He says someone later flagged him down, told him about what was happening, so he says he stopped, left the dog in a ditch, and went to work.
It rips my heart out to think how much he suffered. He was in excruciating pain and for a lengthy amount of time.
Well, Homeward Bound thinks the dog was dragged nearly 2 miles. The organization will pursue charges in the case.
Time this morning is 4:36 on WKYT, and this morning we are tracking a crime alert in Knox County. Police are looking for a man who they say robbed a store at gunpoint. State police released this surveillance picture taken during the robbery. They say just before 7 Monday night, the man you see here robbed the dollar store in the Flat Lick community. And after taking some money, they say he drove off on a four-wheeler. Police say the robber is around 5'9", weighs around 350 pounds. He was wearing a dark mask and dark clothing at the time.
Well, there's some frightening moments for Johnson County Sheriff's deputy. He says a tree fell on his cruiser while he was headed to a call. Deputy Richard Sallier says he was responding to a house alarm Monday afternoon when that tree fell along Highway 1092. It crushed the passenger side of the cruiser.
Just driving along, just with my own thoughts, and all of a sudden it was like a bomb went off, and took me a few minutes to really figure out what had happened, because I mean, I was thinking explosion or gunshot or something like that.
Can you imagine? Well, Deputy Sallier says a small bruise near his eye was really the impact of his injuries. As for the damaged cruiser, the sheriff's office is waiting to hear back from the insurance company before deciding what to do. Well, another falling tree crushed an SUV outside a Lexington home yesterday. This happened on Winding Wood Place in the Heartland neighborhood. No one was injured. A student says he was about to get in an SUV and drive to school, but his mother stopped him and told him something, and minutes later, that's when that tree fell. The family thinks gusty winds and the rain-soaked ground both played a role in causing that tree to fall. So a close call there.
Yeah, a lot of those trees loose with the wet ground that we have right now. Well, next week, the United States Supreme Court will hear arguments over same-sex marriage bans in Kentucky and 3 other states.
Well, some Kentucky couples will be among those in Washington. They filed a lawsuit hoping to have same-sex marriage recognized in the Bluegrass state. Last night, they gathered in Louisville for a community send-off event, and Garrett Weimer brings us that story.
Greg Burke and Michael De Leon met when they were students at UK. Now Burke's name is on the Supreme Court's docket, but they're confident ahead of oral arguments.
For marriage to proceed so far, we're kind of at a minority of the states that don't have marriage, and for those indications, that gives some level of confidence. But it's the Supreme Court, so they can do what they want. So
many of the plaintiffs in the case say it's so important not because they're fighting for themselves, but because they're fighting for same-sex couples everywhere. Jim Mead and Luke Barlow met at a Lexington bar and have been together nearly 48 years. They say they got involved so LGBT kids don't have to go through what they did.
I'm a 3-time suicide survivor when I was at Bryan Station, and I said, we're losing so many kids today to suicide. This is something that you and I need to do. And so we plunged in, we came out of the closet, we threw the doors open wide, and here we are.
As a sign of support, the group got a book full of thank yous from people across the country.
But to know that we have support from people, and thousands of people in all 50 states, is absolutely amazing.
Elliott says that support helps fuel their effort as they head to Washington, D.C. In Louisville, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
And next week, Jacqueline Policastro from our Washington Bureau will be at the Supreme Court to report on the arguments in the same-sex marriage cases. Time this morning is 4:39. It's so good to have you along with us here bright and early on your Wednesday. And WKYT this morning is just getting started.
Well, nobody wants to deal with a crisis, but being prepared helps. Moms Every Day has some advice for helping children deal with the unexpected. That's later on in the show.
Upper 40s, lower 50s is kind of cool outside. It gets even colder as we slide into the next couple of mornings. That's our main focus, and even with some smaller chances of rain. I'll have all that coming up.